Welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lotta, and today I'm going to show you how to make this 4-stranded braided challah bread that's perfect for Easter or just for any other occasion. So if you want to see how to make this, keep watching the video. Now the first thing we need to make is our yeast dough so we can get that proofing. So for our dough, you're going to need 250 milliliters of lukewarm milk, 7 grams of dried yeast, 100 grams of melted butter, 75 grams of sugar, a good splash of vanilla extract for flavor, 1 egg, 1 pinch of salt, and 500 grams of flour. Now additionally, you can add just about any other flavorings you like, such as lemon juice or lemon zest, or you can add in raisins or really anything else that you want to add into, but I'm going to leave it at these ingredients. Now as always, we're going to start by letting our yeast bloom with a little bit of our sugar and a splash of milk. Give it a quick mix. We're going to set that aside for about 10 minutes or so, and after that it should be kind of bubbly and gross, which is a good sign that our yeast is still active. Now in the meantime, we can go ahead and add the remaining ingredients into our big mixing bowl, just making sure that our salt goes on the outer edge because we want it to come in contact with our yeast at the very end to make sure that it doesn't ruin our yeast. As you can see, our yeast is super active and bubbly and gross, which is perfect. So we can go ahead and just add this to the rest of our ingredients, and then we're going to knead it for about 10 minutes until we have a super nice smooth dough. We're going to knead our dough once together with our hands just to make sure we have a nice smooth dough ball. And our dough really isn't sticky at all because of all the butter in here. It's really nice and soft, and you don't need to add any more flour to your surface because it shouldn't stick. However, if it does stick, feel free to sprinkle on a little bit of flour just to make sure that it doesn't stick when you're trying to knead it. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to let it proof for about 45 to 60 minutes, or roughly until it's just about doubled in size. It's been about an hour and our dough has definitely doubled in size. At this point, we're going to divide our dough into 4 sections since we're making a 4-stranded braid, and then we're simply going to roll it out until we have some nice long strands.
Now to create our 4-stranded braid, we're going to start by taking our leftmost strand and placing it underneath our 2 center strands, and then folding it back over our 2nd center strand, creating a little twist. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our rightmost strand. We're going to put it underneath our 2 new center strands, and then once again twist it over that 2nd center strand, creating that lovely little twist. From here on out, we're just going to repeat the same pattern until we have no more dough to braid. So as you can see, you always go underneath the 2 center strands and then twist it back over the 2nd middle strand, and then do the same thing with the other side and repeat.
Now the hardest part about this braid is the actual braiding. So because this is a 4-stranded braid, the pattern is going to be a little bit different than our typical 3-stranded braid. Now as you could see in that video, essentially all we're doing is taking our outer piece, placing it underneath the 2 strands in the middle, and then flipping it back over into 2nd position, and then doing the same thing on the other side, and just redoing that until you have no more room to braid. Now I watched a ton of different videos explaining how to do a 4-stranded braid, and they were all slightly different. So this is the one that I found easiest to copy. But again, if you want to do it a different way, there's lots of videos online that you can watch to help explain. Now I just like to pinch the end pieces together and tuck them underneath. That way our braided bread just looks a lot neater and cleaner, and you don't have the end pieces opening up. I'm going to cover this one more time. We're going to let it sit for another 30 to 45 minutes or so to proof a little bit more and get super fluffy. So it's been about 45 minutes and our braided bread has definitely fluffed up quite a bit. Now while the oven is preheating to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, we can also go ahead and brush on our egg wash. So for our egg wash, I'm using 1 egg yolk and about 1 tablespoon of milk. Just gonna mix it together, and then we can brush it all over our bread. Now, if you want, you can also top your braided bread with some coarse sugar or salt or some almond slices, but I'm going to leave mine just the way it is. So at this point, it can wander into the oven that's been preheated to 180 degrees Celsius or 306 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to bake for roughly 30 minutes. Now, depending on how thick your braided bread is, it might need 5 minutes more or less baking time. So once you get to about 25 minutes, I'd say check your oven and check your bread to see if it's cooked through, and if not, just bake it for an additional 5 minutes. And there you have it, our 4-stranded braided challah bread. So that's going to be everything for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or write me a comment down below. And as always, the whole recipe is going to be in the description box as well.